What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable powered by BetUS. The 2024 season has come and gone, and even though we're only a week into the 2025 offseason, it's never too early for some bold predictions. I got a feeling Eagle Al's bold prediction might be the Eagles repeat after the domination we just saw this past Sunday from Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. So tonight, we will be getting a bold prediction heading into the offseason for all four teams in the NFC East. So without further ado, let's bring in the fellas, KB, Rio, Lou, and the champ, Eagle Al. Good to see you, fellas. Before we dive into bold predictions, let's dive into what those bold predictions could turn into. Could it turn into a potential Super Bowl championship like it did for Al this past season? Well, according to BetUS, it very well could. The Eagles have the best odds to do it again this upcoming season alongside the Chiefs and the Ravens at plus 650. The Bills with the second best odds, the Lions with the third best. All 32 teams' odds for the Super Bowl next year are up already on BetUS, and you can get in on them using the promo code YouTube150. That'll get you a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next two after that. All right, Al, I know your Eagles just won the Super Bowl, but now, look at much like A.J. Brown is saying, you got to start retooling for next year. We got to do this again. And in order to do it, a good offseason goes a long way. KB, I'll start with you because, ironically enough, the offseason rumors are already firing on all cylinders for the Giants, with Matt Stafford's name being thrown around in the mix of who could potentially be quarterbacking these Giants. So, starting with you, KB, a bold prediction for the New York Giants heading into the 2025 offseason.
My bold prediction is that even if a quarterback is there with a third overall pick, that the Giants decide to skip out if it's not Cam Ward. So if Cam Ward goes number one overall, and let's say the Browns go ahead and draft Abdul Carter, like a lot of scenarios presented to be, if Shadur Sanders is on the board, that the Giants will decide to skip out and probably go like Travis Hunter or stuff like that, and look for a veteran quarterback. We've heard already, the Matt Stafford stuff is already starting to ramp up, but now we're hearing Russell Wilson talks again, like we've heard for the past 2 years, where he was almost going to be signed to the Giants last season, but they decided to stick with Daniel Jones. They might be looking for a veteran quarterback to go ahead and get them over the hump for a better quarterback class in 2026. So I think my bold prediction, it's going to be a shocker to a lot of people because, of course, the Giants really need a quarterback right now. They got rid of Daniel Jones, and it would seem pretty obvious to make that move, but and especially they have a short leash with that front office ready to fire them at any minute now. But my bold prediction is that they skip out on quarterback in the first round.
Lou, it's going to be an interesting offseason for your Cowboys. First year for new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. The Cowboys are looking to get back on top after a down year last year, riddled with injuries, including Dak Prescott. So heading into the 2025 offseason here, Lou, a bold prediction for the Dallas Cowboys.
My bold prediction of the organization that's, long known to be timid, not to make any moves. I feel like they will make a move this offseason due to the pressure of the stars and like Micah Parsons in the contract situation. So I think we trade for another star player. I wouldn't say Myles Garrett, but I would say somebody like Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals, a solid pickup. Give Matt Eberflus another base DN and let us cook and just and be solid this season.
Any concern about Micah Parsons heading into this offseason for you?
No, this is all semantics. Everything that the Joneses do is for clicks and views. The fact that they released the news on the day of the Super Bowl, which is exhausting, and I appreciate CeeDee Lamb for calling them out on it. But get ready for the smear campaigns. Get ready for ESPN to be talking about, we may think about trading Micah. Get ready for the exact same story that they do for all their stars, just crazy for them to end up bent over and paying them in the first place. So for even more money.
Rio, real interesting offseason for the Commanders because they're coming off of an NFC championship appearance and they got a whole lot of money to spend to put around their rookie of the year quarterback to make them even better. The idea of what these Commanders could be based on what they already are and what they have at their disposal potentially, it is a scary thought. So with that in mind, Rio, you're heading into this offseason. What's a bold prediction for the Commanders in 2025?
I don't think it's bold to assume that we're going to add in the wide receiver room. We're going to go draft a running back to probably be our starter early in the draft at some point this upcoming year, and a couple more pieces on the offensive line. My bold prediction, big fish. We got some catching up to do with Philadelphia. Myles Garrett is going to be a Washington Commander. We're going to make the trade happen. The Browns are currently in the 5 stages of grief, and they haven't reached acceptance yet. We got to get there. They got to hardball him. They got to, you're not going anywhere. They got to get over the fact that their best player, the top 2 defensive player in the league, wants out of there. But when a guy does a trade request like Myles Garrett does, he put it in wax. It was Shakespearean-like. He put it for the whole world to see. And then at the bottom, he put it in bold print. I have requested a trade officially from the Cleveland Browns. There's no coming back from that. That's different. He didn't hit you with the stupid rollout of deleting pictures on Instagram and switching up his bio on Twitter. That's an official trade request. I think they want to get him to the NFC when they do finally reach that point of having to move him. And I think Washington and Adam Peters, we're going to be in that conversation. First round pick plus whatever it takes, go get it done. Get Myles Garrett over here with Dan Quinn. Not only does he give us a real legit pass rusher, he plays the run well. We don't have edges that can set an edge, that can contain. Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr. can get after a quarterback. They're awful in the run game. Myles Garrett is the best combination of that in the league, and that gives us a huge boost going into the 2025 season. Welcome to the Commanders, Myles Garrett.
What's a trade package for you that you would approve as a fan and that you also think the Browns would be satisfied with if they get to the point where they absolutely have to move off of Garrett here, which looks inevitable?
I feel like it's going to cost 2 firsts. I feel like it's going to cost a first this year, or a first this year, a second next year, and maybe like a day 3 pick this year, like a fifth, like a first and a fifth this year, and a second next year. I'm paying it. Like, he's not 30 years old yet. He once again was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. This isn't a Dan Snyder move. Like, our fan base is so squalid. This is like Hainsworth. This is like, no, this is not going to get Bruce Smith and Dion when they're 40 years old and past their prime. This is one of the best 5 players in football when you take quarterbacks out of the mix. This is that guy. He's 29 years old. You go make it happen. I'm sorry. I like Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong. That ain't about to do it for us, man. We need a difference maker. And everybody's saying, but the Eagles, they drafted all their guys. They made a lot of trades in the process of building this thing up, too. They went out and got Slay. They went out and got A.J. Brown. They traded up for Jalen Carter. They traded up for Cooper DeJean with us, actually. There have been a lot of maneuvering up and down boards and going to get talent from other places. So you get it how you can. Adam Peters, go crazy. Bring Myles Garrett to me now before Philly do.
This time last year, your Eagles are looking back saying, man, a year ago we were in the Super Bowl, a play away from winning it. This past year we start out as hot as anybody. Season derails. We get waxed by Tampa Bay in the wild card. They had to make a move. And what they did was go out and acquire Saquon Barkley, who had put together one of the best running back seasons we have ever seen. That has led to a Super Bowl championship for Philadelphia. Now that they have secured the ring, and it's inevitable that this team is as good, if not better than anybody in the league, heading into the 2025 offseason, what's a bold prediction for you that can allow Philly to get right back to where they are again this upcoming season?
Man, I want to say Myles Garrett, but if that don't happen, I think like the guy in Cincinnati we can go grab. The thing is just trying to maintain some of the talent. Because I know Josh Sweat most likely is going to walk. Milton Williams is going to get a high payday. Out of the free agents, I really want to keep is Zach Bond. Try to find a way to pay him. Some of this money is going to come off the books because they still paying like James Bradbury, Not sure what we're gonna do with Bryce Huff. He was a high paid guy and then work out. I just see an edge rusher. But if it is Myles Garrett, yeah, it's gonna be similar to like how the Saquon thing went. He's just gonna dominate games because you're gonna have to worry about Myles Garrett and Jalen Carter, and you got Nolan Smith on the come up on the rookie deal. It's going to be hard to get past that D line, and then you still got Quinyon Mitchell, who is young, and Cooper DeJean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's not going anywhere. So if we can get a big move or make a big move, it's going to be an edge rusher. I just don't know who.
Man, I wish I was Al. You imagine coming off of beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 40-22, 6 sacks, and saying, yeah, it'd be nice if we got another edge rusher. That is a great spot to be in, Alan. Look at it. If they end up doing that, these Eagles, you think they're scary now. Look out. Well, we are just entering into the offseason, folks, and we'll have plenty more episodes like this, diving into all of the different elements of the offseason as it goes on. So in order to be able to tune into all of those, hit the subscribe button on your way out the door. Toss us a like, too, if you'd be so kind. Also, head on over to BetUS and use the promo code YouTube150. The Super Bowl lines for this upcoming season are already up. So there you have it. Bold predictions locked in as we head into the offseason. We look forward to hanging out with you throughout the offseason here on the NFC East Roundtable. But for tonight, that's going to do it for KB, Rio, Al, and Lou. I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much for tuning in to the NFC East Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.